Billboards are great, aren't they? Hey there, YouTube, it's Cadiot, and in today's episode, I want to upgrade this billboard. So, having heard your request as the benevolent person I am, I'm going to upgrade said billboard. Let's start with the stopping mechanism. So, this was my original stopping mechanism for the billboard, and it works just fine, so we're probably going to leave this in some form. And going a little more in depth as to how this actually works, when it senses that copper bulb, it sends that pulse, and it basically figures out that it can pause it on that next one. So it goes, hits it, pushes it in. That's when the pause happens, and then it waits a certain set amount of time. Now, the first upgrade I wanted to do today was make this thing longer, as I have here. So the reason that I wanted to do this is so that I can have a dedicated slot here on the end where our sensor is, and that way our sensor doesn't have to go up and around on the actual billboard like it did on the first version. So what does this mean? Well, this means I can get 12 long billboards if I leave the sensor in, or 11 long billboards if I don't leave the sensor in, based on the actual range that this thing will run. This also means I have a bit of a longer timer because I have added extra repeaters to the stage. Now, I could just go ahead and put in an actual clock, but I've decided to run with repeaters here because this gets me a long enough stage. In my opinion, if you really wanted to, it would not be hard to wire up a redstone clock to figure out how long to wait from your input pulse. Now, the rest of the billboard generally consists of the pushing mechanisms that just loop it around, and there's a number of ways to do those, but to explain how I've done them on the old system, I've just set up an observer that detects whenever a block has been moved, and it pushes the next block over. So if I were to go place a block down here, it goes up and it pushes it over. If I place a new one in, up and over. So I get it looks like we may have taken 10 steps ahead now, but we haven't. All we've done is gone in and put a barrier around the billboard and put an actual billboard in the billboard slot. The back mud does not move. That is just a background so I could have writing. But beyond that, it is a functioning billboard now. I mean, I've got all of the movers in place. So in theory, whenever I hit the lever here, it'll activate and start going around. Now, for now, I only have one background on it because I haven't bothered to link up a second one. But whenever I do bother to go ahead and link up a second one, this is now probably the new thinnest design we could make. I guess we could, in theory, move this in one more block and have it be a block thinner, but for what it's worth, this is the design that I am going to be running with. But anyway, it's got the stopping, it stops, it tells you what it wants to tell you, and then it moves to the next stage. So I've gone in now, I've thrown in some extra stages and put them in the off position because for what I'm doing and what I'm needing these for later on, actually I want them to be in the off position versus the pause position. Now, figuring out what you want the pause position versus the off position doesn't really matter, just as long as you have it so it fits that 6x6 slot and know that the off position will move it up one, you'll be fine. Now, the only thing I will say about this current design is that it kind of lacks slide storage. I'd like to get more slides on it, and for that, I need to make it go back farther with more pushers. So the last thing I've gone and done now is I've gone and spaghetti taped the whole thing. There are tapes going everywhere, feed tapes all over the place, and this is just because it allows me to have more different panels. And the more panels we have, the more advertisements we can show. Now, the downside of that is every single stage you add in a tape is going to add a bit of delay between the movement. So we can look at the one over there. It goes real quick. While the one over here does not move as quickly around the loop. It's like a block every second, if even that, to where this one, maybe a block every half a second. But beyond shift speed, there really is no difference. They all get to the same place, the same graphics if you have them installed, and they both work. And there's absolutely some places in this I could have probably gone in and made a different slide size. I think the slides are, if anything, a little bit oversized right now, which causes them to have some imperfect gaps. Like some of them have 2 gaps between slides, and others have 3 gaps. And somewhere there's like a 1 gap. So I messed up somewhere. But beyond that, it works. It's functional. I think we can call that a Buildstone build. So that's going to do it for today's episode on the Redstone billboard. If you enjoyed it, do the YouTube things if you're inclined. I'm not forcing you, but you could do them. And with that being said, I've been Cadiot, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.